And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar right here on BearcatJournal.com. Go visit our friends at Hail Mary's. They're in Cheviot on Harrison Avenue. They're right within the Dora District. You can walk around from bar to bar with your drinks, or you can just hang out at Hail Mary's. They've got 27 TVs, 3 outside facing, a 9-screen video wall. It's not a bad seat in the house. They have every sports package that DirecTV offers. They can stream all the games, and rest assured, Cincinnati sports will always be on the video wall. Brand new walk-in cooler, brand new draft lines, and not only do they pour the coldest beer around, but they do so in 32.8 degree frosted glasses. Go see our friends, Hail Mary's in Cheviot. All right, well, it's been a busy day. We woke up this morning. I had to and from. I was the homecoming chauffeur last night. Getting in and out of Covington to get to a homecoming that has like 1,000 kids at it. It's a nightmare. Got home late, woke up early, drove down to Louisville. Kelsey is a big Nebraska volleyball fan. If you know, Nebraska is like a massive brand in volleyball. They put 92 something thousand people in the football stadium last year for a volleyball match. Nuts.
Which is insane.
So we went down to the Yum Center this morning, watched Nebraska whip Louisville's ass. It was rather enjoyable. Straight sets, and 2 of the sets weren't even really all that close. So got to cheer against Louisville today, which makes for a good day. Had a great brunch, some Tres Leches pancakes that were phenomenal, and then drove back home, and here we are. Aaron, how was your Sunday?
Woke up and did the brunch and smoked a pork shoulder. Started last night around 1 a.m. Finished this afternoon, and it was divine.
I thought that was the second time in a weekend we were going to have a bunch of weed talk when you said smoked. Berg went off on a I'm allowed to smoke weed now tangent Friday night. So
not my thing.
I know.
I'm sure it would make my ribs feel so much better right now. Although
until you coughed.
The whole reason my ribs hurt to begin with, yeah.
What a wild Saturday in the Big 12. I actually went to bed right as BYU was starting to put it on Kansas State, which we'll get to in a minute. But start to finish, this league is so fascinating because it's truly a league where if you think you know what's going on, you don't.
I'm with Mo. I think it's a down year for the.
I don't. I think it's exactly what we thought it was. Like
I say that.
I know.
Because I said last week, if Sonny Dykes loses to SMU, yeah, it's a down year.
Sonny Dykes stinks. Like he's gonna get fired at TCU by like next year. Like he is not. I don't know how in the hell they ended up in the college football playoff, much less the championship game.
We'll get to it.
Anyhow, all right. Let's get started before I go off on another tangent.
I know.
Game of the day in terms of the top of the league. Utah goes into Stillwater, holds on 22-19. They were kind of controlling that game towards the end. Oklahoma State storms back, makes it interesting at the final horn. 22-19, Utah gets the dub and pretty much, I'd say, solidifies themselves as the top team in this league for now.
No Cam Rising, and truthfully, no Ollie Gordon. Where is he? 11 carries, 42 yards, 15 carries for Oklahoma State. I don't care if you're losing. This is who you have become. And you're just
Aaron, it was
doing it.
It was 10-3 at halftime, 13-3 going into the fourth quarter. It wasn't like they were getting like they could only throw. Like
Oklahoma State should not be throwing the ball 44 times. Not the Oklahoma State that I've gotten accustomed watching. Like over the course of the last season and a half. What are you doing? I don't know if maybe coach has just lost his whole mind. He's a man. He's like 52 now.
He's almost
or something.
60 now. He's almost 60 now.
AARP, whatever. I don't know. But what are we doing? This is.
I mean, maybe they aren't running a lot because they can't.
I'm burying the headline, which is no Cam Rising. He misses another game, which at this point he might just be trying to cruise for a medical red shirt for the season. I'm not entirely sure. It's very weird. What's happening in Utah. I don't care what he said.
I'm giving the news, Aaron. I'm
making the joke.
I know I'm giving the news. He said post game that he just felt like he wasn't quite 100%, and he didn't want to, in a game of this magnitude, like be the reason his team lost. If you're a competitor, aren't you like, I'm going to be out there come hell or high water with my guys in a game that could go a long way in determining who plays for the Big 12 championship. They won, so kudos to them, but
truthfully, looks like it was Micah Bernard, 25 carries, 182 yards, no touchdowns, but he had a very big day, and I don't know. Well done, sir. Well done.
Yeah, I mean, Rising's back up 17 to 29, 207 and a touchdown. I think without Rising, the thing is, Aaron. Yeah, I think the thing is, though, without Rising, I think they're still probably the favorite. They're just not the heavy favorite. Their defense is incredible. Like, their defense is physical, fast. But I don't know. It gets a lot closer without Rising for sure.
I will see. They have a favorable schedule. Yes. As Utah, the toughest teams that they're going to face the rest of the way, because they do have Arizona State, they do have TCU, they do have Houston, they have Colorado on the schedule. Those, I don't know that any of those are tough wins, but the tough ones are going to be Arizona. BYU, I think, has put themselves in a position to be a tough win.
Get to that in a second.
Iowa State, second to last game of the season, they close out at UCF, which UCF's starting to put together a decent resume.
Yeah. Moving on, the late game last night. Wow. BYU 38, Kansas State 9. This is what we talked about was our fear with Kansas State, is if they fell behind, could they orchestrate enough offense to make up a deficit? I believe from the second to the third quarter, I believe there was a 6.5 minute of game time window that Utah scored 31 points. One of the best punt returns you'll ever see, or BYU,
BYU.
Scored, BYU. Scored 31 points in like 6.5 minutes of game time. One of the best punt returns you'll ever see. And Kansas State had no answer. Once they were down, they were cooked.
Didn't they score twice in 39 seconds to end the first half?
Yeah.
I mean, woof.
Yeah.
And you talk about making your own luck. That punt, was it a punt? I believe it was a punt or a kickoff.
Punt.
Punt. It was a punt that he fields around in between the 10 and the 5, muffs, and still picks it back up and takes it 90 yards to the house.
Yeah.
Good God,
that's when you know things are going good, Aaron. That's when you know things are going good.
And your backup running back is the one who ends up getting the bulk of the carries in Sion I Moa. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. We still don't know who Avery Johnson is, though, at the end of the day. And I think that's...
We do. Right now he's a running back playing quarterback that they are trying to force into being a pocket passer. They never fucking works, Aaron. It never works.
They ran the ball very well. 43 carries, I believe, for 228 yards. They ran the ball very well. But They are not passing the ball very well. 16
Right.
to 29 for 139, 2 picks.
Yeah. They dominated the stats, but points are
They
what
also
they keep
they
score for.
turn the ball over.
Yeah. Yeah. My Kansas State love takes it like this is 2 out of the last 3 weeks. I've been questioning myself this week a little bit more than 2 weeks ago. But then last week they brought me back in. And now I'm not saying I'm out, but if you can get ahead of them, you can play that older brother move and kind of keep them at arm's length. So we'll keep an eye on it. But BYU, you have to take serious, I think, now.
Yeah.
They're 4-0, they're 1-0 in the league, and they just dominated a team that everybody thought was right up there as a favorite. Keeping it moving. Not a whole lot to say about this. Poor Butch Jones. Iowa State, who the more we go through this, they might be the second best team in the conference. 52-7 over Arkansas State. Just a complete.
He didn't cry after this one, did he?
I did not. If he would have cried, I think I would have seen it. Like I said, I was very busy yesterday, unfortunately. So everything was just kind of like in passing. I did not see any video of Butch crying this week.
Iowa State, I told you this one wasn't going to be close. Iowa State,
yeah, we knew that.
They've figured out the offensive part of all of this. They did throw 2 interceptions, but they ran the ball 48 times, 237 yards, 5 touchdowns on the ground. Rocco Becht did enough, 11 of 18, 204, 2 touchdowns and a pick. I don't know. It just I think you used the word dominate, and I think that's the best word to use. This one was
they dominated Arkansas State.
Yeesh.
In a battle of 2 teams that could not afford to lose, West Virginia storms back late. Garrett Green, after having a pretty rough first part of the game, picks it up in the second half, especially the fourth quarter. West Virginia comes back at home 32-28. Kansas is now 1-3, 0-1 in the Big 12. And I guess in retrospect, the one thing that everybody loved about Kansas before this year was their offense, the design of their offense and how unique it was and how difficult it was to stop. Their offensive coordinator left, and they do not look anything like the Kansas that we thought that we were going to get this year. Jalen Daniels stinks. Devin Neal can't do it all. They're in trouble. They're in trouble.
There was a 2-hour lightning delay in this game.
Yeah.
That would be. Was that in the middle of the game? Like not to start? Yeah, that's what I thought. Middle. It was, and just so you play some, and then you get a 2-hour break.
Kansas was winning when the lightning delay happened.
That sucks. Like, I can't imagine how much, as a fan, as a player, as a coach, how much that whole situation would absolutely suck. That said, Jalen Daniels is not good.
Whatever it is that was the magic in that system that he, had ran a couple years ago, it is gone, daddy, gone.
I don't know if he is still injured. I don't know if he is in his head. I don't know if maybe it was the system 2 years ago that is not now. Whatever is going on with Jalen Daniels, he is not who Jalen Daniels was. And I don't know if we're ever going to see that Jalen Daniels again. Every NFL team has to be breathing a sigh of relief that he did not enter the draft after sitting most of last year out. That said, I think that there's a very good possibility that he will end up with 32 UDFA offers after the draft is over and all 7 rounds have been completed.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Jalen Daniels right now. Garrett Green, give him credit. He did bounce back. He had a bad start. He finished 15-30. You never want your quarterback at 50%. But he did have 295 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. did kind of lead that comeback in the fourth quarter to get West Virginia the lead. But
87 more yards on the ground and a touchdown as well that way.
Yeah. So West Virginia at least keeps hope alive. They're 2-2 on the season, 1-0 in the Big 12. But it don't look, those two teams did not look good when I had a chance to like peek at that one for a little while yesterday.
Is Kansas playing in? I know this wasn't a home game for Kansas, but are they playing in an interim field currently as their stadium is being renovated?
No, I think they are still playing in it, but there's like parts of it that are like shut down.
So it's like when Great American was being built, and
yeah, like you can't go here. Like you can go here, you can't go here. I think that's what's happening at Kansas right now.
Okay, just curious.
Or they might be. They might be playing games like at least partially at the Chiefs at Arrowhead. I'd have to look that up. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we'll as the
by Wednesday. Have that answer by Wednesday.
Well, I was gonna say as the Big 12 stuff continues. Yeah, by their next home game.
Texas Tech, who the Bearcats play next, 30-22 over Arizona State. Texas Tech got out early. Their offense was good, but it wasn't dominating. 27 carries for 117 yards for Taj Brooks. 14 in the first, but then 3, 7, and 6 in the second, third, and fourth quarter. Arizona State's pretty good on defense. They're a team that needs to run the ball for success on offense. They didn't really get a chance to get in a rhythm because they got down quick. I'm fascinated to see Texas Tech Saturday night at 8:00 at the Holy Grail.
I think this game said more about Arizona State than it did about Texas Tech. And by that, I mean, I think Arizona State is for real. I think they are somewhere in the middle of the pack for this conference.
Yeah.
And I think they need to be taken seriously the rest of the way out. Texas Tech, on the other hand, go ahead.
I was going to say that Arizona State defense, it got off to a bumpy start, but second, third, fourth quarters, they played well. Like they gave their offense a chance to win the game. Their offense couldn't do it because I don't know if they have enough
juice
variety. Yeah, like they need to be able to pass it better, and they're pretty much strictly a running team right now. But yeah, their defense is really good, so that's going to be something to keep an eye on.
Texas Tech, on the other hand, they're really balanced, and I don't know that they're particularly above average in either. I just think that they're, again, just another middle of the pack team, and I think that they're just they had a little edge on Arizona State.
I'm fascinated to see if they are an upper middle of the pack team or like a lower middle of the pack team because there's so many teams in that middle. I'm just wondering where they fall in that pecking order. That is a really tough place to play at night. So we're going to talk about that plenty this week.
There's a real possibility for
them.
There's a real possibility for a shootout in this one, and I'm very interested to see what Cincinnati can do with a shootout on their hands.
We're going to be at the Holy Grail until like 12:30 in the morning Saturday night with that game.
At least.
Oh boy. TCU. Oh boy. SMU 66, TCU 42. SMU with 17 in the first, 24 in the second, 18 in the third. They cruise home in the fourth, 66-42. Sonny Dykes gets kicked out. Boy. This league. In his return to SMU. That's how it went. Boy, those SMU fans had a party Saturday night.
What a weird game. 415 yards in the air for TCU on 31 of 46 between the two quarterbacks. 4 touchdowns, 2 picks. They could not run the ball to save their life. Couldn't run out of a wet paper bag. 32 carries, 65 yards, Somehow they found the end zone twice with those 32 carries, but 5 fumbles for TCU. They lost 3 of them. Just what are we doing?
It's so much. 2022 was just an absolute fluke. Just an absolute fluke. They won all the coin flips. I don't know how. I still don't know how they beat Michigan. But Keegan pointed out something interesting that I didn't know on the board. Hoover, their quarterback, for TCU, he was committed to Indiana. And when things started falling apart at Indiana and Sonny Dykes got the TCU job, Sonny Dykes flipped him, which opened the door at Indiana to go find a quarterback named Brendan Sorsby.
My, how the turntables.
Maybe. Well, I mean, the Hoover kid's been great for them. He's been outstanding.
400
almost
yards.
400 yards.
400 yards. 4 yards shy.
I don't know. He's just not a good coach. Like, he is who we thought he was.
Well, yeah. I think that's where this entire story begins and ends. Is you bring in Sonny. No, you bring in Sonny. Look at his track record. What were you thinking?
Right.
What were you thinking?
That's like Luke bringing in the quarterback from SMU and thinking that he was going to be like, you dominated him. Like, I never got that one. You kicked that guy's ass every time you played them. And then you go to Wisconsin and say, that's my guy. I'm going with the guy that couldn't complete a forward pass against my defense.
You would have had better luck with a Michael Pratt.
Right.
And that's not who I would have put my chips on either.
No. They're bad. I don't know what to think. They're bad. Anyway. We've gone long here, and we still have
one more.
Maybe the most exciting game of the whole weekend in all of college football. Colorado 38, Baylor 31. Baylor looked like they were going to run away with this. They let Colorado hang around. They never threw the knockout punch. Colorado drops a Hail Mary for a touchdown with 2 seconds left. Should be over. One play, one snap. Shadur Sanders rolls out to his left, completes it in the end zone, goes to overtime. Colorado takes it in overtime. Did you hear the name of the play, the name of the defense for Dave Aranda that allowed the touchdown to go to overtime?
The Fail Mary? That's what it should have been called.
Victory Cigar.
Oh, God.
And he told that to the media. He said the name of that play was Victory Cigar.
I don't know at this point in time if Sonny Dykes or Dave Aranda has a hotter seat.
Yeah. Victory Cigar. Didn't work. Travis Hunter forces a fumble to end the game out of the back of the end zone. Colorado.
Because he's the best player in college football. The best.
He is the best player in college football. He is. I don't even know what, like, Colorado gets their first win. It looked like an absolute surefire loss. Absolute surefire loss. And somehow they end up winning 38-31 in overtime.
So they get their first win? It was their third win. Their first
in the Big 12
win.
Yeah, in the Big 12. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
First Big 12.
Well, this time around.
their first new Big 12 win. They got a bunch of old Big 12 wins, but yeah, what a wild Saturday in the Big 12.
They're also one win away from the win total they had last season already.
Yep. All right, that's going to wrap it up, Aaron. Tomorrow night, everybody that's watching, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, right here on this network, live.
Power of the Puka!
Marty Gilliard will join the BBP, and we will recap his Hall of Fame weekend and much more. We'll see you then. That's the Nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya.